Alright guys, it is Yishan here with another video. It's Banlist season and I don't really do the Banlist reaction videos. I feel like my subscriber base is more of a rogue player, so I actually decided to do an analysis on how the Banlist affects rogue players. I play Gren Maju myself, so if you're interested in Gren Maju content or any sort of rogue content, please consider subscribing. I always love to brew up new rogue decks when the Banlist drops. Okay, so the title of this presentation, Can Rogue Compete? How does the 2020 December ban list affect us rogue players? Okay, well, let's take a look at the ban list. I think you've already seen it by now, so I'm just going to go through it really quickly and then we'll analyze it. So banned Dragon Buster, Destruction Sword, Link Cross, and Smoke Grenade of the Thief. Semi-limited, no limited cards, True King's Return. And of course, we have our unlimited section here. We have Sir, Graph, Yugishki, Mind August, ABC, Dragon Buster, and Totally Awesome. Okay, so let's start with the forbidden cards. The first and most noticeable thing that is not forbidden is True King of All Calamities, also known as VFD, also known as Very Fun Dragon. Now, as rogue players, it really depends on what kind of rogue deck you're playing. So, for example, if you're playing something that's a trap deck, VFD is not going to bother you that much, because they're going to make VFD, maybe you're not too worried about activating monster effects or attacking on the first turn, so you're okay. If you're playing like a going second, like OTK deck like Gren Maju though, VFD will bother you a lot. So let's keep that in mind as we go through the rest of the list. Dragon Buster Destruction Sword is nice. Now that it's being banned, Super Polymerization is very nice. Link Cross really helps because Infernoble was this deck's Infernoble and Virtual World were Gren Maju's hardest matchups. I assume they are the hardest matchups for a lot of rogue decks if you have a hard time dealing with combo. Now that they are gone, Infernoble is basically, that combo version is not going to exist anymore. Virtual World is untouched. So what does this mean? Well, basically, how I view this is, I'm not certain that combo is dead because the combo theorists are pretty amazing. They come up with crazy combos all the time. So I would not write off combo, even some non-virtual world combos or non-Drytron combos off yet, because people can be pretty creative. However, this does mean that Nibiru will be pretty effective against these rogue combo. I'm going to call them rogue combo decks now. However, for things like Virtual World and that Drytron deck, now that we sort of understand what our main enemy is, VFD, there may be some way to have some counterplay, because previously the format was just so different, so many different combo decks, that it was hard to play hand traps that attack them on all axes. Now you may be able to side in specific cards that counter VFD, if that's the main card you're worried about. For example, cards like Xyz Encore. Now, it depends on how these decks shape up. If the Drytron players are ending on VFD Herald, you can always, if they activate VFD, Super Poly away the VFD and the Herald with Mud Dragon of the Swamp. However, it really depends. So I think one thing we can look forward to is that at least the combo decks will be a little bit more similar, and perhaps they have more choke points, and perhaps we can attack them better. Okay, so that's the main analysis here. I really wish VFD would have been banned, but it isn't, so we're going to have to deal with that for some time. They still want to sell some Phantom Rage, so that's how it is. However, I think if the threats are more narrow, then we of course have more ways to deal with them. So that's my analysis on the forbidden. Semi-limited, this card doesn't really matter at all. The problem with True Draco, if you're a rogue player, you know this, you need your 3 diagrams. I feel like they could just limit our hit miss a little bit and bring diagram back to maybe make that more like that, but it seems like Konami doesn't want to hit miss Eleniasaurus, so that's going to be pretty annoying. Let's take the cards that go to 3. Sir, Graph, Mind August, Dragon Buster, Totally Awesome. We already went through these, but basically, you could have some fun playing a Burning Abyss control deck, but honestly, people didn't even play this before that much. Yishan Mind August, it's just another combo deck, but it's weaker to hand traps, so I doubt you're going to see it very much. These two are really interesting because I think a lot of people have they enjoy ABC Dragon Buster, like ABC, and they also enjoy playing Totally Awesome. I personally have a Toad Turbo deck that I showcase on the channel sometimes. It's gotten some new tools in AA Zeus as well, so I may be displaying that for you guys. So there's some cool combos there. But yeah, this is what I'm seeing right now. It's not looking great, but you know, this unlimited stuff doesn't do much usually anyway. So, you know, just be prepared for that sort of thing. It may be the case that Kaijus will be very good next format, depending. You know, like, it's always a mind game with VFD. The problem with VFD is there aren't that many cards that outed cleanly, except for cards like XYZ Encore. So, yeah. Let's take a look. So, yeah, True King of All Calamities. Basically, I think these two decks, and a lot of people think Drytron and Virtual World will be very, very, very strong, barring any new cards. So one thing I've noticed, if you're a Gren Maju player, Drytron, Sanafon seem to be very good against this deck, so it may be worth putting a Sanafon in your extra deck, back in your extra deck as a rank 8. It's also pretty decent against Virtual World, not the greatest, but decent. So yeah, I mean, I guess you could start citing Mind Drain. Mind Drain is very, very good against both of these decks. However, Drytrons can't activate in the graveyard, so maybe that's not the best example. But it is pretty good against Virtual World, because none of them can summon themselves. So there's a cool deck, Mind Drain, for y'all. But yeah, so I think this card is the main problem. You know, we're mostly worried about these two decks making it. I think Virtual World is still the hardest matchup, so D-Shifters might still need to be in there. We'll have to see how we can attack Virtual World, if there's any sides we can bring in. But right now, I think Virtual World is definitely, like, it just loses to itself sometimes. So, I mean, you could try to, like, Lancia in the standby, maybe. Lancia might be good. Lancia, if they open Desires and some other cards, you can really brick them pretty hard. But, again, that doesn't always work as well. So, you know, it's really just a who knows sort of thing. But, yeah. So, that's what I have for you guys. Basic summary of the video. Combo is hurt for sure, but you're still going to see combo decks. However, these combo decks will all probably be routing through VFD, unless some of them route through Needlefire, but those decks will probably be still easier to hand trap out. These decks are still very troublesome, but I do think it's better than Infernoble, because Infernoble was just miserable if you're a rogue deck to play against. And Dragon Link, if you're a rogue deck that likes to use the extra deck, that's going to help you a lot as well. So, that's my analysis, guys. What do you guys think? What's your favorite rogue deck? Please let me know in the comments below. And until next time, guys, I will see you guys in the next video.